My name is Ruby, and I'm 32 years old. I live in a tiny studio apartment that barely fits my bed and a small kitchen table. It's not much, but it's what I can afford while helping my family stay afloat. I work at a mid-sized company downtown, and after 10 years of grinding through extra shifts and working 7 days a week sometimes, I finally got the promotion I'd been dreaming about. My family consists of my parents, who are in their 50s, and my older sister Maya, who's 35 and married with 2 kids. Maya always tells people she's a businesswoman who owns a coffee shop, though that place has never made a dime. Meanwhile, she calls me just some regular employee. It stings, but I've learned to live with it. My parents live in a house they're still paying a mortgage on. Dad works construction when his back allows it, and Mom quit her grocery store job last year. Maya's husband works at a warehouse, and they have 2 kids, ages 8 and 10. Maya opened her coffee shop 3 years ago, borrowing money from everyone including me. Most days, she has maybe 5 customers, but she won't admit it's failing. I've been the family's safety net for years. When my parents couldn't make their mortgage payment, I covered it. When Maya needed money for equipment, I handed over my savings. When the kids needed money for school activities, I paid. When Dad's car broke down or Mom needed dental work, I covered those bills too. I gave my parents access to my bank account 3 years ago for emergencies. They use it responsibly, usually just a few hundred monthly for groceries or utilities when short. They never abuse it, so I trust them. For bigger amounts, they ask first, and I transfer money directly. The thing is, every time I get a raise or a promotion, my family somehow needs more help. It's like the universe has a sick sense of humor. I get more money, they need more money. I've been stuck in this cycle for years, watching my colleagues buy houses and cars while I'm still renting a shoebox and taking the bus to work. I haven't been on a real vacation in 5 years. Every time I plan one, someone in my family has an emergency. Last year, I was going to take a trip to California, but Maya suddenly needed $10,000 for new equipment for her coffee shop. The year before that, my parents' roof started leaking right when I was about to book a cruise. But this promotion is different. I'm not just getting another small raise. They made me head of the marketing division. It's a real leadership position with a real salary bump, and for the first time in years, I feel like I'm actually getting somewhere in my career. I decided to celebrate this one properly. Instead of going to some dive bar with my work friends like I usually do, I wanted to have a real party at a nice restaurant. I wanted my family there. I wanted them to see that I'm not just some regular employee like Maya always says. I wanted them to be proud of me for once. 2 weeks ago, I called everyone and invited them to the party. My parents were excited, saying they wouldn't miss it for the world. Maya seemed happy too, though she made some comment about how fancy I was getting. Her husband said he'd be there, and they'd bring the kids if that was okay. Of course it was okay. I love those kids, even if their parents drive me crazy sometimes. I booked a table at Rosario's, this Italian place downtown that I'd always wanted to try but never could afford. I invited 12 people total, 6 from work, 2 college friends, and my family. The whole thing was going to cost me about $800, but I figured I deserved to splurge just this once. I bought a new black dress for the occasion. Nothing too expensive, but it was elegant and made me feel confident. I even got my hair done at a real salon instead of cutting it myself in my bathroom mirror like usual. The day of the party, I was so nervous and excited. I kept checking my phone, making sure the restaurant had everything ready, double-checking that my friends were still coming. I got to Rosario's 30 minutes early and stood outside in my new dress, watching for familiar faces. My work friends arrived first, Sarah from accounting, Mike from sales, Jenny from HR, and a few others. They all complimented my dress and seemed impressed with the restaurant choice. My college friends showed up next, and we all hugged and caught up while we waited for my family. But as the minutes ticked by, I started getting that familiar knot in my stomach. Where were they? I checked my phone for the 3rd time, still nothing. The party was supposed to start at 7, and it was already 7:15. My work friends were chatting and laughing, probably wondering why we were still standing outside in the cold instead of going in and getting our drinks. "Hey Ruby, should we go ahead and get seated?" Sarah asked, rubbing her arms. "It's getting chilly out here." "Yeah, let's just wait a few more minutes," I said, trying to sound casual. My family should be here any second. But inside, I was starting to panic. My parents are never late. They're the type of people who show up 15 minutes early to everything. Maya might run late sometimes, but she would have texted me if something came up. I tried calling my mom first. The phone rang and rang before going to voicemail. I hung up without leaving a message and immediately tried my dad. Same thing. Straight to voicemail. My stomach was really churning now. What if something had happened? What if there was an accident? What if one of the kids got hurt and they had to rush to the hospital? I called Maya's cell phone. It went straight to voicemail too. I tried her husband's phone next. Same thing. "Ruby, are you okay?" Jenny was looking at me with concern. "You look really pale." "I'm fine," I lied, "I just can't reach my family. They're probably just running late." But I wasn't fine. I was embarrassed and worried and angry all at the same time. Here I was, standing outside this nice restaurant in my new dress, with all my friends and colleagues waiting for me, and my family was nowhere to be found. I sent a group text to my parents and Maya, "Where are you guys? Everyone else is here and we're waiting outside the restaurant." No response. I tried calling my mom again, nothing. I called my dad again, nothing. I called Maya 3 more times, nothing. "You know what?" I finally said to my friends, "Let's just go inside. I'm sure they'll be here soon." We walked into Rosario's, and the hostess led us to our reserved table. It was a big round table in the corner, perfect for a celebration. The restaurant was beautiful, with dim lighting and soft music playing in the background. I should have been excited. This was supposed to be my moment. But I couldn't stop staring at the 4 empty chairs where my family should have been sitting. I was sitting at that table, trying to smile and make conversation with my friends while checking my phone every few minutes. The waiter came over and asked if we were ready to order drinks. "Let's just wait a little longer," I said. "We're expecting a few more people." But 20 minutes passed, then 30. My friends were being polite about it, but I could tell they were getting hungry and confused about why we were still waiting. "Ruby, maybe we should just order," Mike suggested gently. "I'm sure your family will catch up when they get here." I was about to agree when my phone buzzed. Finally, a text message. But when I looked at the screen, my stomach dropped. It was from my mom. "Don't lose us, we went to Mexico." I stared at the message, reading it 3 times before it sank in. Mexico? What the hell did that mean? I was about to call her when another text came through. "We took $25,000 from your account for vacation, sure you'll understand." My hand started shaking. $25,000? I quickly opened my banking app, my heart pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. There it was, a charge for $25,000 made just 2 hours ago. Hotel booking and plane tickets for 4 people to Cancun. Then my phone buzzed again. This time it was Maya. "Have fun at your party, wish we could be there but family vacation called." You understand, right? I felt like I was going to throw up. They had planned this, they had all planned this together and just left me hanging at my own promotion party. Not only that, but they had stolen $25,000 from my account to do it. "Ruby, you look like you've seen a ghost," Sarah was staring at me with concern. I forced myself to put my phone down and look around the table. Everyone was watching me, waiting to see what was wrong. These were my friends and colleagues who had taken time out of their evening to celebrate with me, and here I was ruining everything because my family had screwed me over. "Sorry guys," I said, trying to keep my voice steady, "my family just texted. They had some urgent business come up and won't be able to make it tonight." It was a lie, but what else was I supposed to say? That my own family had stolen from me and abandoned me on one of the most important nights of my career? Well, their loss is our gain, Mike said, raising his water glass. More time to celebrate our new division head. Everyone cheered and raised their glasses, and I managed to smile and play along. But inside, I was falling apart. All I could think about was that $25,000. That was more money than I made in 6 months. That was my emergency fund, my down payment savings, my security blanket, and they had just taken it like it was nothing. The rest of the party passed in a blur. My friends ordered food and drinks, they made toasts to my promotion, they told funny stories and laughed. I went through the motions, nodding and smiling and pretending to enjoy myself, but I felt like I was watching everything from outside my body. When someone asked about my family again, I just said they were dealing with a work emergency and changed the subject. When the bill came, I paid it without really looking at the total. What was another few $100s when I was already out 25 grand? After everyone left and I was walking to my car, I finally let myself think about what had really happened. My family, the people I had been supporting for years, the people I had sacrificed my own happiness for, had stolen from me and then taunted me about it. They knew this party was important to me. They had promised they would be there. And instead, they were probably sitting on a beach in Mexico, drinking cocktails that I had paid for. I started crying in the parking lot. Not just because of the money, though that hurt. It was the betrayal. The complete disrespect. The way they had made me look like a fool in front of my colleagues and friends. I had been so proud to invite them, so excited to share this moment with my family, and they had just thrown it back in my face. The drive home felt endless. I kept replaying those text messages in my head. Don't lose us, as if I was the one who had done something wrong. Sure, you'll understand, like I was supposed to be okay with them stealing my money for their vacation. When I finally got back to my tiny apartment, I sat on my bed and opened my banking app again. The charge was still there. $25,000 to Paradise Resort Cancun. My parents had access to my account for emergencies, real emergencies, like when they couldn't afford groceries or medicine. Not for luxury vacations to Mexico. I was angrier than I had ever been in my life. But underneath the anger was something worse, the realization that this was probably just the beginning. If they could take $25,000 without asking, what would stop them from taking more? I knew what I had to do, but it felt scary and final. I logged into my bank's website and started revoking access. First, I removed my parents from my checking account. Then I canceled the debit card they had been using. Then I removed them as authorized users on my credit cards. As I clicked through each screen, I thought about all the times I had helped them over the years. The mortgage payments, the car repairs, the medical bills, the coffee shop equipment. Thousands and thousands of dollars, given freely because I loved them and wanted to help. I remembered working double shifts so I could send Maya money for her business. I remembered skipping meals to make sure I could cover my parents' heating bill in the winter. But this felt different. This wasn't asking for help, this was theft. This was them deciding my money was theirs to take whenever they wanted it, without even the courtesy of asking first. An hour later, my phone started ringing. I knew it would be my mom before I even looked at the screen. I let it ring 4 times before finally answering. "Ruby, what the hell did you do?" My mom's voice was shrill and angry. "I can't pay for anything. The card isn't working." "Good," I said, surprised by how calm my own voice sounded. "You stole $25,000 from me." "We didn't steal anything. That money was just sitting there doing nothing. We needed a family vacation. I needed you at my party. I needed my family to support me for once instead of just taking from me. It's just money, you make plenty of it. It's my emergency fund. It's the down payment I've been saving for a house. And you just took it like it was yours. You need to unblock the card right now because we still have 7 more days here and no way to pay for anything." "No, Mom. I'm done." "You want to go on vacation? You pay for it yourself." She hung up on me. 10 minutes later, Maya called. "Ruby, what the hell is wrong with you? Are you seriously going to ruin our family vacation over money? Are you seriously calling me to complain about the money you stole? We didn't steal anything. We've always used your account when we needed it. I've never had a problem with you taking $500 for groceries. I have a huge problem with you taking $25,000 for a vacation without asking me. We knew you'd say yes if we asked. Then why didn't you ask? Maya was quiet for a moment. Because we knew you'd want to come with us, and this was supposed to be just for us and the kids. The honesty of it hit me like a slap. They had specifically excluded me while using my money to pay for it. So you took my money for a family vacation that I wasn't invited to, on the night of my promotion party that you promised to attend. Right now, we just need you to turn the card back on. The kids want to go to the water park tomorrow. Maya, I will never give you access to my money again, ever. I have a job, I run my own business. Your coffee shop loses money every month. That's an expensive hobby I've been funding for 3 years. She started crying. The kids are going to be so disappointed. Don't punish them because you're mad at us. The kids aren't being punished by me. They're being punished by their parents who stole money for a vacation they couldn't afford. If you don't help us, I'm going to tell the whole family what a selfish person you really are. Good, maybe that'll save me some money. She hung up too. My phone rang again immediately. This time it was my dad. Ruby, sweetheart, your mother is very upset. Can we just talk about this calmly? Hi, Dad. Look, I know maybe we should have asked before using the card for such a big purchase. But we've been under stress lately. I was never invited, Dad. I had my promotion party tonight. The party you promised you'd attend. I know, sweetheart, I'm sorry about that. We just thought you have parties with your work friends all the time. You never get to take family vacations because you can't afford them. Just like I can't afford to give you $25,000. We just thought it made sense to use your card since you have more money saved up. Dad, that money took me 3 years to save. I work 60-hour weeks and live in a studio apartment so I can help you guys. And you just took it. We'll pay you back, Ruby, you know we're good for it. With what money? You haven't paid me back for anything in 10 years. Right now we're stuck here with no way to pay for anything. You have 7 more days, figure it out. I hung up and immediately blocked all their numbers. Early the next morning, my phone rang again. This time it was my Aunt Carol, my mom's sister. Ruby, honey, what happened? Your parents have been calling me all night asking for money. They want me to talk to you and convince you to help them. I took a deep breath and told her everything. The stolen money, the missed party, the texts they sent, the way they had planned the whole thing without me. Oh my God, Ruby, I had no idea. I can't believe they would do that to you. I can't believe it either. Honey, you shouldn't forgive them after this. You need to stop supporting them. You've already done so much for them over the years, but they don't appreciate it. They're taking advantage of you. I know. I'm starting to see that now. You need to take care of yourself, Ruby. You've given them enough. It's time to focus on your own life. You're right, I finally understand that. After we hung up, I felt more determined than ever. While my family was still on their stolen vacation, I decided to protect myself completely. First, I called the concierge in my building. Hi, this is Ruby in 4B. I need to add some names to the do not admit list. Under no circumstances should you let Linda Peterson, Bob Peterson, or Maya Williams into the building. Of course, Miss Ruby, I'll make a note in our system. Next, I called my bank. I need to remove some people from my emergency contact list and revoke all shared account access. The representative walked me through the process. I removed my parents and Maya from everything: emergency contacts, shared accounts, authorized users on credit cards. I also asked them to put a note on my file that no one should have access to information about my accounts without proper identification and verification. Is there anything else you need today? Actually, yes, I want to set up additional security measures. If anyone tries to apply for loans or credit using my information, I want to be notified immediately. We can definitely do that for you. When I finally hung up, I felt like I could breathe again for the first time in years. My family was thousands of miles away, they had no access to my money, and they couldn't even get into my building. A week passed in blissful silence. No emergency phone calls, no guilt trips, no begging for money. I actually enjoyed my evenings for the first time in years. I cooked dinner instead of grabbing fast food, I watched movies, I even started reading again. Sure enough, the day after my family returned from Mexico, the concierge called me at work. "Miss Ruby, there are some people here claiming to be your family. They're very upset that I won't let them up. Just keep them out, they're not welcome here." The next morning, I was walking to my car when I saw them waiting by the parking garage. Maya spotted me first and started marching over, my parents close behind. "Ruby, what the hell is wrong with you? You embarrassed us in front of the whole building." I kept walking toward my car, not even slowing down. "You embarrassed yourselves." My mom was crying. "Ruby, honey, we spent $10,000 on credit cards because you cut us off. You owe us that money now." I actually laughed. "I owe you? You stole $25,000 from me and now I owe you more money?" "We didn't steal anything, we're family." "Family doesn't steal from each other, Mom." My dad stepped forward, trying his usual peacekeeper routine. "Ruby, sweetheart, let's just sit down and talk about this like adults." "There's nothing to talk about. You made your choice when you took my money and abandoned me at my party." Maya got in my face. "You're being ridiculous. We've always helped each other in this family. You're supposed to help us when we need it. When have you ever helped me? When have any of you ever helped me?" She looked genuinely confused by the question. "We don't need to help you. You make good money." "I make good money because I work my ass off. You sit in your failing coffee shop and pretend to be a businesswoman while I pay your bills." "My coffee shop is not failing." "Maya, when was the last time you paid me back for anything? When was the last time you made a profit?" She didn't answer. My mom started sobbing louder. "Ruby, I need money for my massage therapy next month. My back is killing me and I can't afford the treatments. Get a job, Mom. I can't work with my back problems. Then apply for disability or find something you can do. I'm not your personal ATM anymore." I pulled out my car keys and they all stepped closer, surrounding me. "If you don't start helping us again, we're going to tell everyone what a selfish daughter you are," Maya threatened. "Go ahead, tell them how selfish I am for not wanting you to steal my money." I unlocked my car and got in. They were still yelling at me through the window, but I just started the engine and drove away. 2 weeks later, I got a call from my bank. "Miss Peterson, we need to verify some information with you. There was an attempt to take out a loan in your name, but the email address used doesn't match our records." My heart sank. What email address was used? The email address sounded. "That's my sister's email. I did not apply for any loan." "We figured as much. The application was for $200,000. $200,000. Maya was trying to take out a massive loan using my information. What do I need to do? We've already flagged this as potential fraud. You might want to file a police report." Instead, I sent Maya one email. "If you ever use my personal information again, I will file fraud charges against you. This is your only warning." I never heard back from her. 6 months later, I was driving past Maya's coffee shop when I noticed something different. There was a for sale sign in the window. That evening, I called my Aunt Carol. "Oh honey, yes, Maya's business finally went under last month. Without your help, she couldn't pay her suppliers or her employees. She had to close everything and get a regular job at some office." "What about my parents?" "They sold their house a couple months ago. Couldn't keep up with the mortgage payments without your help. They bought a small apartment and your mom had to get a part-time job. They're living very differently now." I felt a mix of emotions, sadness, relief, and something that might have been guilt. But mostly, I felt free. Actually, Aunt Carol, I'm better than I've been in years. For the first time since I started working, I have money left over at the end of the month. I'm actually thinking about buying a house. These days, I avoid family gatherings where I might run into my parents or Maya. When I do go to holiday parties with extended family, I always ask who's going to be there first. If they're invited, I make other plans. The amazing thing is how quickly my savings account started growing once I stopped supporting 3 other adults. Money that used to disappear as fast as I earned it now accumulates month after month. I've already got enough saved for a down payment on a small house, and at this rate, I'll be able to buy something next year. I still work hard, but now that hard work benefits me instead of funding someone else's lifestyle. I took my first real vacation in 6 years last month, just a long weekend at the beach, but it was mine. Sometimes I wonder if I'm being too harsh. But then I remember that promotion party, standing outside that restaurant in my new dress, waiting for people who were never going to show up because they were too busy spending my money on themselves. My family made their choice that night. They chose to betray my trust and steal from me rather than support me during one of the biggest moments of my career. I've made my choice too. I choose myself.